All right. Let's see if y'all can hear me, please post in the chat. If you guys can hear me. If y'all can hear me, just post in the chat that you can hear me. All right. Okay. All right. Post where, as folks are coming in, post where you are watching from, where you're located. Where's everyone located? Let's see. Post where you are watching from. All right, Indianapolis is in the house. All right. Anyone else? Where's everyone at? No one wants to hang out with me on a Friday evening? No one else wants to. All right. No one wants to. Where's everyone else at? I didn't post enough about this, so maybe it might be a slim crowd tonight, but that's fine. It's all right. All right. Even if you got 2 people, that's fine. All right. We'll keep going. All right. Oxford, UK. Nice. Okay. Oxford is in the house. Let's just wait a little bit for people to come in. Hope you guys are doing well. Yesterday we did we had, folks with, tech recruiter experience, teach or give a little bit on, how y'all can use AI to power your job search and get more interviews. We went over how to create some custom GPTs. So if you missed it, you can definitely catch the recording either on my YouTube or on LinkedIn. We did it yesterday. If you check the live tab on the YouTube, you'll see it. It's pretty good. All right. Okay. All right. Who's ready for some reviews today? Who is ready for some reviews? It's interesting. Some people posted or submitted that they wanted a LinkedIn and portfolio review, but they gave me no portfolio to review. So I'm not sure what that's about. But let's just get on started. Our first one. Share screen. And okay. All right, let's get started with our first LinkedIn profile review. So if you're new here, if you've been watching for the past couple weeks or so, when it comes down to a LinkedIn profile, on average, people spend about 15 seconds on your LinkedIn profile, and they spend about half of that on one section of that profile. So about 7.5 seconds out of that 15 is spent on one particular part. Most people get it wrong. People spend about 7.5 seconds on our banner. So if you think about it, as soon as you go on someone's page before scrolling down, this is the very first impression you provide. The worst thing you can do is not have a banner. So, the second worst thing you can do is have one of LinkedIn's default banners, but it's better than having no banner. But what you should do above all is just create a banner in Canva. And again, when we talk about great, simple Examples, Grace, right? Simple, clean name, your target role, and then, your, some sort of maybe positioning statements or like skills that you kind of like specialize in, right? So something, your banner needs to amplify your brand. Anything that's like stock images doesn't amplify your brand. No banner doesn't amplify your brand. And these, LinkedIn default banners do not amplify your brand. So go on Canva. I showed a little like 5-minute tutorial on that last week. Go on Canva and make a very quick, simple banner, but you don't want to have no banner. Okay, so profile photo is nice. I would maybe want it like zoomed in a bit. So I know like if I would edit this, I would just cut this out a bit and just kind of like zoom in. It's like yeah, I would just cut this out a bit so it kind of like focuses on your like face and your head more, but it's a very good photo. Okay, policy and advocacy, data enthusiast, immigrant. So I'm not sure what, let me see. When I see what's your number one goal, to basically become a data analyst. Policy and advocacy is your first one. Okay, so this tells me this could be a, some industry thing that you're good to go with, like an industry that you're specializing in. I don't like data enthusiasts, and this is just me. I feel like enthusiast is things that were like, for me, maybe, I like true crime, but I don't get paid to watch or consume true crime stuff. So I'm a true crime enthusiast. I don't get paid for it. But if you're a professional, I don't really like the enthusiast word. So it should say like data analyst, and it should be like the very first one, in my opinion. You should be data analyst. I do like that you have your, stuff, industries or areas of expertise. But then you can add in like Excel, SQL, Tableau, etc. as well. Okay, your about section: strong passion for research, potential to shape the future, power to uncover patterns, excited to contribute. Okay, interesting. This kind of, I mean, this is all right. Remember, your about me is like it's like your elevator pitch per se. So I don't know. It kind of seems like a data dump of just keywords here. Um, it seems very generic. Like this is something that we kind of see all the time. Um, but otherwise, I'm glad that you have something here. So we say you have hands-on experience in quantitative and qualitative research. You can expand on that, and I would lead with that in your about section. I would lead with that. Okay, I'm glad that you have some activity here. So you're a real person. Okay, intern. Intern, so it looks like you're probably still in school or just graduated. I don't see a year here. It says, okay, so it says completed. So I'm assuming you're already graduated and you're looking for a role. So if you're already graduated though, I would put the year here because it's not clear if you're done or not. It's not that well. Now I see completed, but it would be nice to see the year, like the end year. Yeah, but it looks like all this, and you have internship experience, research experience as an intern. Yeah, this stuff you should be leading with this stuff in your about section. A lot of you definitely have way more experience than the average college student or the college graduate. Yeah, definitely you're definitely underselling yourself. Yeah, you definitely need to be, expanding on that experience in your about section up here. I do like that you have information here under your roles. At the very least, I always say just copy and paste whatever bullets you have in your resume. I know for a fact there's no way this is how your resume looks for these roles. So I would, paste your bullets. It's better than like these kind of like paragraph sentences here. Um, and let's see your skills. So, Okay, so if you're trying to be a data analyst, I want to see some more data analyst keywords, SQL, Excel, Tableau, Power BI. I haven't really seen any of that, but you definitely want to have that. I haven't really come across any of those keywords. So you're definitely missing those keywords, and you definitely would like. I definitely would see. We only get 2 that's shown up here, and this right again. This is just underselling yourself. You don't need pressure. I don't even know what that means. If it means like working under pressure, sure, but it doesn't come across here like again like SQL, stuff like that. Let's look at your skills. So it's down here. Yeah, I definitely put it up here. Yeah, so you got them all down here. You got to put them up there, and also these keywords need to be inside your experience. I don't see any of those keywords up here at all, and also in your about me. I don't see any of those keywords in your about me as well. All right, so yeah, you got a lot of good stuff here. Underselling. All right, let's see what else. Let's see what else. All right, but good start so far. Good start so far. You got a lot to work with. Um. Let's see if we can do a portfolio. All right, here's a portfolio. All right, so when I said send me a link to your portfolio, this is what you bring me to. All right. Okay. Got some visuals here. Okay, looks like this is a write-up. All right. Business problem. I gotta be honest with you. I'm just not a fan of this Power BI. I'm not a fan of this Power BI chart here, but that's just a personal thing. Okay, a nice write up. No one's gonna read all of it, so whatever. So, it would be nice if this was. No, this is. Let's say this is go. So you got the sequel. I think. Well, I guess if you want to show again, no one's going to read all of this, but I do. This is nice that you have everything. You could also use Carbon, to show your code. Though this is README, so if this is a README, this is a Markdown. So if you're writing this in Markdown, you should be able to have a code block. So I would just do that instead of just pasting this. The code blocks would look a lot better. It would just look a lot cleaner for the code. It will also take up less space. Okay, so you got SQL. Okay, I think it looks like these are like some questions here. When I think of maybe I think it would be nice if there was maybe like another or maybe a better like overall dashboard type of visual. Instead of just a visual, just the charts that answers. Looks like these are just a set of questions. Otherwise, the setup is really nice. I really like the setup. The setup is really, really nice. This is definitely one of the better ones. Now, when I said link to your portfolio, this is where you sent me. So I'm not sure when you're sending people to your portfolio, you're always sending them to this one project. Yeah, it looks like it's just GitHub. So like I said, I just avoid using GitHub all around. So this looks like a write-up for one project, but you should whatever your front end, when I say like go to your portfolio, whatever like kind of, website or something like that, one pager would be nice. And it would be nice if you did that off of GitHub. But if you had a link on your like a website like Canva or something and went here, this is one of the better GitHub write-ups, though. I say I would get a website other than GitHub to host your portfolio. This is a much better write-up than most, so this is actually good work. Okay. Let's see. All right. Right. Let's see who's next. All right, let's do another portfolio. Or let's do, looks like this is LinkedIn and portfolio, so this is nice. All right. All right. I like the banner here. Okay, this photo, it looks like it is, kind of outside. I would, yeah, you can tell this is like outside. Not the. You can definitely get a better, like you definitely dressed for the part. I would just do something where you have like an intentional, professional photo. One where, they're kind of like right in front of you. This one looks like, maybe with like a group photo or something like that. You're just like, hey, I'm outside out here. Just take a picture of me. And then you just like did a crop. So more intentional profile photo. But other than that, it's good. But I could just tell, it's kind of far away. And then you can also, remove the background and just use like a clear one color background in Canva. So, the background isn't, clutter or distracting. All right. Software engineer, entry level data analyst. Okay. So I'm not sure okay. So MS software engineer, entry level data analyst, a lot of stuff going on here. Like what are you a software engineer or are you a data analyst? I do like that you have the keywords here. That's good. Okay, for your featured, I'm glad that you have a featured section, and putting your resume is not bad of a thing to do for your featured section. It's good that you have posts, and it's good that you have some activity here, so you are real. Okay, so last thing, you were a software engineer. So off the bat, so again, when it comes to your experience, bare minimum, just paste the bullets. And let me go to your, paste the bullets that you have in your resume under the experience, under the jobs on your LinkedIn. Treat your LinkedIn as like your living resume. So if you have, I know you don't have nothing under this, software engineer, internship, because I just looked at it. So just paste the bullets. You want to paste the bullets. You don't want to just leave them empty. Okay, you just graduated master's in May. But where are we trying to go? Are we trying to be a software engineer or are we trying to be a data analyst? I'm not sure. I see like SQL data analysis, Tableau. So it looks like for the most part, data analyst. I think, okay, so I'm looking at skills. I see DSA, data structure. I think looks like data structure is, It looks like data structure is spelled incorrectly. And DSA, I'm assuming that's data structures and algorithms. So yeah, it looks like a mixture of, software engineering and data analysis stuff. So again, the first two things that we see are DSA and data structure. So that's not, PJ2, min heaps. That's just, I don't know what that means. That's probably software engineer terms. So if you're trying to go for like data analyst, I would definitely put the data analysis skills at the top. But it looks like a mix here. So, what do we want to do? Do we want to be a data analyst? Do we want to be a data engineer? Maybe that's a kind of a mixture of the two. Do you want to do that? Do you want to mix software engineer or a data analyst? Not sure, but other than I would get that. Oh, wait, you don't have an about me section. Where's your you have nothing here. So you have nothing in your about section. All right, so your about section. Look, it's the second one here, and it's empty. Your about section is it's your elevator pitch, and you have nothing there. So yeah, you gotta fill that in with something. You got a lot of looks like you got good stuff to work with here, but one, need to figure out, are you trying to be a data analyst or a software engineer, or are you trying to mix the two? The branding can definitely be much better here. It can definitely be much better here. And again, definitely paste your bullets from your resume onto your experience, bare minimum. But other than that, yeah, I really like this. If sad equals, yeah, I like this though. This is clearly, I think, JavaScript. Again, I am not a software engineer person. Um, so it definitely speaks software. And so like this speaks software engineer, this speaks software engineer, data analyst, IBM certified in what? Like what is IBM certified in what? I don't know what IBM certified technically means. You know, this I know this kind of speak analyst. Yeah, so it's like definitely the branding can do a lot better here. All right, let's look at your portfolio because you wanted both. I like that. All right. So your choice is to bring me to a GitHub. So I always go against GitHub, but all right. Masters in computer software engineering, expert. Expert. Listen, expert is all right. Expert in SQL, Python, data viz. Oh, I saw no data viz on your LinkedIn, but you are an expert. See, data viz. Okay, so I like this picture here. This picture, why does it look different? I don't know why it's more close up. Okay, maybe it's just because it's more close up here. I don't know. I guess it looks different when it's close up. Okay, but again, get a picture that's a more intentional profile photo. Like I can tell there's shade here covering your eyes and things like that. Maybe you're like under some sort of like building thing, but okay. Otherwise, I like that your GitHub has some effort here. Now, again, I don't. Where am I supposed to click to see the projects? This is why I recommend to not use GitHub as your portfolio. Okay, let me go to your Tableau. All right. Here's the thing: since you're a software engineer, I know you can, crank up a website, crank up a website. You need to crank up a website, and that's what your portfolio should go. And I should just see visualizations of your projects, instead of having to like click around too much. Too many clicks, too many clicks. I'm not sure where exactly to go. Like, if I'm like, maybe someone who's not very familiar, I'm not exactly sure where to go to like see your projects per se. Um, so, but is it, I'm not, okay. But let's go to Tableau. So, all right. So one thing with Tableau, I know it's always set up to, like, the very first one usually is going to be the latest one that you uploaded, but you can feature your top. You can feature, your favorite or your best one, your best dashboard, and then it will be always right here. So I'm just gonna assume, this is what you want me to go to. Your very first one. I will say this. So like most of us, when we're first learning Tableau, right? Okay, we understand, how to get around it. But then we have to figure out like design layout. So the entire, visual says like a story here. Even though it's just technically it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charts. Um, I don't know what the story is here. On the right side, I see this one primary color, this orangish here. On this left side, I see, 2 area charts, but I'm not really sure what the whole story is here. So um, now I clearly how how to use Tableau, but we need to work on layout, dashboard layout design, the whole story. Um, Clutter too, like removing clutter. I will say having all these labels, data labels here is definitely clutter. Um, yeah. So, but yeah, so there's that. So yeah, I would just make sure these are telling a story better for these dashboards. And the color, well, you're not too bad with the color, but um, okay. Now again, you said expert in SQL, Python. Where's your other? Okay, maybe down here. These are your other projects. So again, I can maneuver through GitHub, but most people cannot. Like in terms of like maybe like a recruiter, they're not gonna know what to. You're not gonna really know how to maneuver here. So that's why I recommend to not use GitHub for your portfolio. But glad that you got something. You're a software engineer. Whip up a actual portfolio site. Don't be taking us to GitHub. Can you suggest other sites to use aside GitHub? Yes, Canva. I have a whole live replay of in a no-code portfolio template for free on how to whip up a Canva portfolio. It's on my YouTube channel. Um, Let me share. If you go to no, shorts. Let me go to me on my page. Go live. The very first one, how to build the perfect data analyst portfolio without any code. I go step by step. I show you how to do it in Canva. Canva has a whole bunch of templates. You can do that in 30 minutes. You can have your own portfolio done in by the end of this weekend. So that is what you should do rather than using GitHub. And that's just like bare minimum, right? You don't want to fancy yourself with like, coding up a website yourself. So Canva is a good option. All right. Let's see what else. Mm-hmm. Would it be ideal to keep one's portfolio solely on LinkedIn for engagement? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Isaiah. Harp on that a bit more. What do you mean by would it be ideal to keep one's portfolio solely on LinkedIn for engagement? It shouldn't be only on your portfolio. So, All right, let's go with the next one. Okay, so off the bat, banner name data analyst. Though you got a lot of, you got a lot of, you know, real estate here. You can add in, other, maybe like some other tools or skills like I don't know, data storytelling or something like that here too. But otherwise, I like this here, but I would put it more so in the middle, maybe. Um, Move this over. There's a lot of real estate. Just make this bigger. You can make this bigger. But overall, I like that. So again, similar to the last picture, like this is not. I could tell, like this. Obviously, it looks like you're out somewhere, maybe out and about, and just have like this crop this as your. But this should be you should have like an intentional professional photo. If you don't have one, right? If anyone here does not have a professional headshot, don't be like, oh my gosh, I gotta go figure it out. Just go to secta.ai. No, I have zero monetary gain of showing this. I am not affiliated with this whatsoever. But no more, like, we should not be, not having professional headshots. Secta AI provides very realistic professional headshots. You have to put in like, I don't know, 40 or so pictures, but again, got to have a professional headshot. For those of us who are probably like, career changing, LinkedIn may be pretty foreign, but when it comes down to LinkedIn, you want to look, you want to appear like you would look on the job. So yeah. So that make sure you can fix that today or fix that this weekend. Okay, data analyst, PL 300. Okay, Power BI, SQL, DAX, helping businesses uncover inefficiencies and drive data back decisions. Okay, cool. I think you can also add a bit more tools, like Power BI, SQL, DAX. Is there maybe data storytelling or maybe something like that? Otherwise, this is good. You have some credibility here. So it looks like PL 300. I know this is one of those certifications. Probably this one, I'm assuming. Is this like an associate? Maybe writing it down, writing it out would be better, or could be useful. But otherwise, I like this. This is good. DC area. Did you want your portfolio reviewed? Yep, we'll take a look. So I'm glad that you have a link here. So this is good. Okay, your about section. This is your elevator pitch. Data analyst specializing in Power BI, SQL Server, Power Platform, certified with a portfolio. Currently focused on building projects. Okay, so based off of what I see here, you have no experience in anything, because you pretty much just been talking about. Say you're a data analyst specializing in XYZ, but you didn't talk about any maybe experience that you have here, like working experience at all. And you're talking about mainly focused, it's basically focused on your projects here. Okay, so I'm glad that you have stuff here in your featured section. And I'm glad that you have activity here. Okay, you got education, licenses. Where's your experience at? Come on. Where's your experience at? I don't see any experience. I know you got some experience. You got to put your experience up here. All right, let's go to your portfolio. Nice. This is what I'm talking about. So you're using GitHub Pages. Okay, so if you use GitHub Pages is basically just using, it's just a way to, GitHub Pages is also another option. It's a little work, but it's an option for hosting your portfolio as well. My very first portfolio was GitHub Pages as well, but I found it too time consuming to update, so now I use Canva. Okay, Isaiah's work. So here's the thing. It would be nice to have like your photo here, kind of similar thing. And then like, maybe a link that goes to, I can download your resume, a link to your LinkedIn. That would be nice here. Cause, oh, it's down here. No, man, that needs to go up there. That needs to go back up there. And it needs to have your photo. All right, let's see. So I'm assuming this is your best project because it's at the top. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. All right. So this is your front end, and I'm going to click, and no. So this is, your README is like where you can have your write up. Your README, it's set up in Markdown, so you can put pictures. You can put pictures of your charts. You can put pictures of your dashboards. You can have everything in the README. I'm not sure if you want me to click here, but again, for most people, most like recruiters and things like that, they're not going to know how to maneuver, and you want like at least the least amount of friction as possible. So it would be nice to just have it all here. I'm just going to click here for the heck of it. All right. So this would be your portfolio. This would be your dashboards, and then you would want this in your README. Again, this is Markdown, and Markdown, you can just look up Markdown cheat sheet, and it will show you exactly how to have pictures in here. Okay, now looking at this, my first question is, is this like is this something? Okay, so nice that you have the KPI cards up here. I'm not sure what's going on here. This is like your LinkedIn and then your GitHub. This is like, why is this here? This is like, I'm not understanding. Why is this here? It's kind of cluttered in the way. I also feel like these KPI things can be a little, well, at least maybe this ring out here can be a little smaller, and then the borders can be smaller too. So that's your first project. My most updated projects are solely on LinkedIn. But listen, Isaiah, here's the thing. It says portfolio, okay? And this is where you brought me, okay? So it has to, you got to be on point everywhere. So if it's not updated, then don't put it up there. Don't put your portfolio up there. So I would make sure this is updated. Your portfolio should have your best projects. And once you have your best projects, then you don't have to update it again for a while. So, okay. But again, this is the top project on your portfolio. Your portfolio, again, so your portfolio is supposed to be your best projects. So, and your top one should be your best one, because no one's gonna look at all of them down there. So, okay, so glad that you have your. So this one's recent. All right. Okay. So number one, I do. Okay. This is obviously, so again, this should be on your portfolio, right? So I would work on that. This, again, if you don't have your most updated projects on your portfolio, then, remove that link or update it until remove the link until you update it. Number one, remember, it is a sin to use a pie chart with this many sections. Absolute sin. This should be a bar chart. This is a no-go. Absolute no-go. Otherwise the design is, nice here, but yeah, this is an absolute no-go. Absolute no-go. What you can do is you can remove this, and then you can actually have more space for your map. Maps need space, right? So the way it looks like this would look way better zoomed in. And I know because you got this one dot up in Alaska that makes it, that kind of messes things up, kind of screws it all up. But maps definitely need a lot of space. And if you remove this, pie chart with 30, I don't know how many sections, this will give it more space. If you're going to use a pie chart, total delays over 15 minutes, you can maybe do top 5 or something like that. But again, you never want to have a pie chart with this many sections. Also, when it comes down to, okay, so this is percentage of flight delayed. So this 0.19 needs to be shown as a percentage. So 19%, 19, then percentage sign. Colors, I'm not seeing, and again, I would, I like to say like 1 or 2 primary colors and then everything grayscale. So I like to use that because it's not really obvious what to focus on. But otherwise, it's definitely way better. Definitely a lot of good stuff to work with. Just a few things to tweak. Just the storytelling, stuff like that, just tweak. But, obviously, can the dashboard design itself in terms of the layout, impressive. But yeah, in terms of these charts, that pie chart has to go. That has to go. Okay. All right. Definitely got some sharpening there. Good work. Let's see. See if anyone had any questions here. Anyone have any overall questions? Yeah, we might take the week off next week. Let's see. Other ones. All right. All right, so this is a Canvas site. Nice. I like that. It's a Canvas site and it's a 1-pager. I just scroll down and I see your work. This is perfect. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, nice. Got your name up there. Photo, this is what photo. Obviously, you're looking down at your phone. Put it up so you're looking, it needs to be eye level up. So you're not looking down. You're obviously looking down with your phone on your lap. Look up, look up with a smile, and then remove the background. Take a picture where you remove that background, and then use Canva and use like a gradient, background. Replace it with like a gradient background or something. There's a lot of real estate here. You can definitely utilize this way better. This is off. Obviously, you can see the alignment is off. So you already say, your name here, portfolio. You got your name here again. I would utilize this much better. So let me see if I can find mine, or let me show you one of my students' portfolios. So kind of similar, like left side, photo, name, and then with links like email, resume, and these will go to her LinkedIn and Tableau. And the right side have your like about me, similar, about me, like a elevator pitch, and then your skills. So you can definitely utilize this space way better. And here's an example of how you can do that. So look at all this jam-packed good stuff that's just hits that's you don't have to scroll down to see. That's what I would add. That's what I would do here. You have a lot of real estate here that's not utilized most efficiently. I'm going to go down. Okay, this is about me. Yeah, you can make this smaller. You can put it up here. Yeah, you can put that up here. And then we can go straight into the projects. Okay, so let me tell you, this is what I'm talking about. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. If anyone's been watching this whole time, the least amount of friction to see his work. This is what a portfolio should do. This is exactly A1. Other than like we talked about, Gotta get better at this. But this is what you scroll down. I don't gotta do a bunch of clicks. I don't gotta do. It's just right here. Perfect. Diabetes. Nice. You got your objective here. You got your some insights. Scroll down. See another dashboard. Objective, insights. Scroll down. This is it right here. I would. Okay, so let's talk about this stuff. The get in touch here. This should be in that top section, right? This should be in that top section, and that about me should be in that top section. But this is a great portfolio here in terms of like the setup here. One pager. I like how you have your colors are simple down here. Maybe I would bold the numbers. I would make these bold a little bit. I would also have be able to, if you have like a link or something, like if I can click on it, you can say like, hey, here's a link to the dashboard. It would be nice so I can look at it. This is really, really good. Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. There's definitely, yeah, it would be nice if you had like a picture or like the link so we can look at, look at actually click on click on the dashboards here. But, all right. I mean, everyone can see the difference, right? Between what we see now and what we see before. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is obviously your best one here. So I like how it's at the top. But yeah, you can make way better. There's all that about me, your contact information. You can definitely do better with the photo. It can also be maybe smaller. You can definitely do way better with this real estate. This is your first impression. But yeah, it's good. It's good. All right, we are at about 10 minutes left. Oh, wait, did I review your profile? Let me see. You wanted a LinkedIn profile too. All right. It's the same photo. So same thing. Put the camera up, bring the phone up, smile, and then remove that background. But it's obviously that you're looking down. Again, stock photo. This doesn't amplify your brand. This is generic stock photo. Go into Canva. You have Canva because you made your thing in Canva, your portfolio in Canva. Go into Canva, name, location, data analyst, Power BI, market analyst, thing, whatever it is, plain back, whatever it is. But you know what to do. Go into Canva, look up LinkedIn banners, and do something that amplifies your brand. Data analyst, business analyst, market research consultant. You can definitely add a bit more. Add the keywords of like SQL, Excel, etc. Also include your like positioning statement. I don't know, like data analyst. Specializing in marketing, whatever, something like that. Little positioning statement. Okay, you're about me. I'm a data analyst, business analyst, and market research consultant, specializing in providing insights for business growth, expertise, creating interactive dashboards, data transformation and cleaning. Yeah, this looks like it's just a data dump of keywords. This is what it reminds me of. All right, you got some activity. That's good. Okay, good. So what I was telling like folks before, you want to have something in here. So at minimum, bullets of whatever's in your resume. I will say you're just off the bat. I don't see like any like numbers. I don't see any quantitative results. I don't see any quantitative results here in your bullets, so that's definitely missing. These are just lists of tasks, but I don't see like results. Like nothing got improved X%, nothing got saved by X%. You're missing all that stuff here, but I'm glad. I like that you actually have bullets under your job, so that's good. And then you have a bunch of experience. You need to lead with experience? Okay, so again, you're underselling yourself a lot. You have a lot of experience, and you're not leading with that experience. Market research consultant. Listen, this is big time stuff here. Like, I want to know, like, explain this. Explain your experience with that. Right? Explain your experience with that. Right. Yeah, underselling yourself. You should be underselling yourself. Okay. For folks who, let me go to StreamYard. Okay, so if you don't have a portfolio but you have things done for work, you want to share the data. If you want to replicate that work, what you can do is, you can, if you really want to make a project that's very similar to what you do at work, you can, if you can't find anything that's kind of similar online, you can definitely make your own data set. Or if you can find, I would first try to find something similar online. I'd definitely find something similar online first. But it's perfectly fine that, it's definitely, like, most people aren't able to, post their projects from work. So I would definitely replicate it as much as you can. So I would first try to find something similar online, though. So I don't know if you work in like marketing or something like that. Those are pretty common to find online. But otherwise, yes, you can replicate it also yourself. AI is definitely super advanced now. You can literally tell it things and give it parameters, and it could give you pretty good data sets if you want. But I would first try to find it online, find something realistic online. And again, you can make your portfolio really in under 30 minutes this weekend. Go on Canva. I got the recorded workshop on that. Let's see. Yep, again, go on Canva. Just one pagers. These one pagers, they hit. These are, again, just make it easier to make it easy for people. You don't gotta click around or nothing. All right. I would say, okay, the only thing I would say also addition, the color scheme is a little odd to me. Like, here I see it, like, it's kind of got green, red, orange, the inside. Like, why? I don't understand the blue, the purple. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gelling. I would, again, one or two primary colors and kind of grayscale. Like, I'm not understanding the color. So that's definitely one of the things I would change. I mean, that's, minor, but the color scheme doesn't match unless this follows some sort of brand. But I don't see a logo. But the colors. I say you can do much better with the color palette here. Like, the charts are fine, but the color palettes on the outside, you can definitely do better. That would definitely take it over the top there. But I do like how, like, you remove the grid lines, not remove the clutter on the charts. Like, nice here. One thing too, like, you guys, you can change. So, like, how it says blood pressure, and it's like one word, you can change that, right? So when we talk about like presenting, like, you can, you know, you can do the edits so that you can like make it 2 words. You don't have to keep keep it 1 word. I know that's how it usually is, like, in SQL and stuff like that. But when it comes on to presenting it, you can edit it so that it's, you can split up the words. All right, we're in our last 4 minutes. Yeah, we are in the home stretch. Anyone have any questions before we go? For the weekend? Good stuff here today, y'all. This was let's see. Good stuff today. We might take the week off next week, but good stuff today. Any last minute questions? Yeah, if you want your portfolio or LinkedIn reviewed, the link, I'm going to post a link again to share or post. It's a Google form. I'm going to post it in there, then I'm going to post it on LinkedIn. Let's see what do we have. Yeah, remember, so anything, your portfolio should have your best projects, your best projects, and the best one should be at the top. You don't need that, but you don't need a bunch on your portfolio. Think of your portfolio like the Olympics, right? So, think of your portfolio like the Olympics. Your 100-meter dashes. You just go to the Olympics, you run, a few 100-meter dash rounds, but you do way more projects in the background. But your very best few needs to be on your portfolio. With Python projects, the best documented in LinkedIn. I'm not really sure what's up with this yeah, you can document, you can post your Python projects on LinkedIn. Yeah, so if you want to post your code, you can do code snippets. You can use Carbon. So you can use Carbon. Let me share my screen. Yeah, you can use Carbon, and so you could just paste whatever code snippet. Python, you can use whatever color scheme or whatever. Just paste whatever code. It'll do all the color thingies, and then you just save it as a PNG, and you can post that. There's a lot of those posts usually do very well. Let me show you here's one of my students, and here is an example of what I'm talking about. So that's a code. Well, that's actually a screenshot of VS Code. That's VS Code 2. So right here. So here's an example of a code snippet. So you can do that and post that on LinkedIn. But yeah, when we come about documented Python projects, it's not like everyone wants to see your full, 1,000, 2,000 lines of code. That's not the point. Again, if you want the link to submit your portfolio or profile for review is in the chat. It is in the chat on LinkedIn and YouTube. And we are out of time. Yeah, it was nice catching up with y'all again. If this was your first time here, nice to meet you. We might take a week off next week. It might be back in the week after, but yeah. Hope you guys learned good learning stuff today. Again, if you don't have a portfolio, go make one on Canva this weekend. If you've been using GitHub as your portfolio, You make one on Canva this weekend. I have a live replay and also a free template on creating your own portfolio. Plus, again, Canva has plenty of portfolio templates, way better than mine, to be honest. Mine is just like very, very basic, but it gets the job done. Again, don't use GitHub repos as your portfolio. Use Canva. And again, we don't care about like your 20,000 lines of code. You don't have to put that in your portfolio project per se. If you want to document it, your stuff like in a GitHub repo, fine. But in terms of your portfolio, we don't care about all that code. You can have like snippets. So I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. I'll show you an example of exactly what I'm talking about. So this is one of my earlier projects back in 2021. Yeah, back in 2021, 4 years ago. Was it 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago. Okay, so here's the write-up. I'm just going to scroll down really quickly so I'll see what I'm talking about. But this project had a whole bunch of code, but I just have like snippets. And this is in GitHub pages, but this right here is made in like a markdown file. So for those who have a README, this is the kind of design just like a README. So, paragraph, words, code block, paragraph, words, code block, PNG photo, paragraph, words, code block, PNG photo, and then paragraph, and then this is like a combination of like a dashboard and like a slide type of thing. So yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Like again, this project had a whole bunch of time, a whole bunch of code, but very this is the Olympics. Like I said, this is the Olympics. So this is what I'm talking about. We don't care about your 20,000 lines of code. Just the basics, pretty much, or like just snippets. But yeah, this is an example of a write-up. Again, there are some people who, I'm glad that you had write-ups, but no one's gonna scroll down for 10 minutes to read your stuff. More pictures, the better. Like I said, I highly always recommend people learn PowerPoint. And look at this. This is kind of like a PowerPoint type of thing. This was 4 years ago. But bear in mind, I did this 4 years ago before I even really knew PowerPoint very much. But this is kind of similar to what I'm talking about. This is like kind of designed almost like a PowerPoint-esque type of slide. So yeah, look how much better this kind of looks than a whole bunch of text and stuff like that. So okay, that is it. I hope you guys took some notes. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.